CIT 1121 packet tracer 10.1.4 configuring initial router settings. This is very similar to setting up a switch, but we're going to set up a router this time. Basically, we're going to go ahead and add a console cable from our PC over to our router, and we're going to add a couple of commands. We're going to save those, save what we change, and that's pretty much it. So it's a pretty easy lab. Starting here, part 1, step 1, establish a console connection. PC to R1. When we do console, remember that's RS-232, and the console cable is a light blue cable. In real life, it's also a light blue cable. And we're going to click on RS-232 on our PC and click on the console port of our router, and we're going to go ahead and open that up. When we use console, remember that is a RS-232 hyper terminal emulation software. So we're going to use terminal. And we'll take the defaults. You can memorize those if you'd like. Click OK. And we're in business. Okay, so we are now at the router's prompt, and we're basically in step 2. And it says, okay, why don't you go to enable and do a show run and a show startup config and see what's going on. So we'll do that. So we'll do en for enable. Whoops, I typed that in wrong. Control-Shift-6. Let's try that again. En for enable, and then show run. And we can see our running config, and it asks a whole bunch of questions about how many interfaces. And you can see there's some gigabit Ethernet interfaces and some serial interfaces and some fast Ethernet interfaces. The only thing I can really point out here is if you hit the space bar, you get a page, and if you hit the enter key, you get a line. So just remember that. And all the basic stuff is in show run. So if you ever forget what you're supposed to be doing, or you're not sure if something is set correctly, you can do a show run and you can just kind of look through it. Eventually you'll find what you're looking for, and you'll get used to the order of where things are located. So that was show run, and then let's do a show startup config. So show start, just going to do show start to shorten that up. And there is no startup config because no startup config has been saved. So this is kind of like a router that was just with no configuration whatsoever. It hasn't been named. There's no IP addresses on the interfaces. There's no banners. There's no anything that we've worked on. So no big deal there. Let's go ahead and move on down to part 2. And in part 2, it says, hey, let's go ahead and set some things up for our router. And really part 2, step 1, substep A. Let's name it R1. Same steps as you would have done in on a switch. So that's a host name, and that's R1. All right. And step B, message of the day, unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. Okay. So we'll go banner, MOTD. Delimiting character, I still use the pound signs because that's how I was taught a million years ago. And pound sign again. There we go. And banner is set. Encrypt all plain text passwords. Okay, so if we're going to encrypt all of our plain text passwords, remember, our plain text passwords will be visible with a show run. In order to hash them out, we're going to use the service password encryption command. So remember that. That'll be on your final. Service password encryption. And that is done. And then go ahead and set up the following passwords. So privilege exec unencrypted password and privilege exec encrypted password. I think we talked about this when we did switches, but we'll do it again here. So there is the enable password command, and the enable password in this case they want as Cisco. This is, when they say unencrypted, it just means that it's not hashed out when you do a show run. At some point, a long time ago, they felt like that wasn't a very good idea. So rather than making it hashed out, they added a new command, enable secret, to show a hashed out password. Oh no, it's a secret. Change it to a hashed out password in the show run, and enable secret takes precedence over enable password. All right, good stuff there. And console password. Okay, so we'll do console line con 0. You should notice this is pretty much the same as what we did previously. It's secret. Oh no, that's wrong. Let's try that again. Password let me in. There we go. And keyword login. Remember, you have to use the keyword login when you set up a password for the virtual terminal lines and for the console port, because if you don't, it doesn't ask for the password, and it actually makes it less secure. They kind of fixed that, but that's okay. If you put login before the password, then they won't let you do that either. All right, that takes us out of everything that they're asking us to do. The last thing they want us to do, well, they say go ahead and go all the way out and say, hey, look, there's the banner that you created. Great. What did you make your console password? Let me in. Good. What did you make your enable secret password? It's a secret. It's a secret, and I made it back in. And if I do a copy, run, start, I can save my startup config, and I've got 100% on this lab. I'll see you in the next lab.